Hey guys, it's the last one to my family runs a successful business on the black market. Part 8. The new me. Dad handed me a bundle of blue plastic. It was an apron. Inside of it was a pair of long gloves that looked like they were used to do dishes. There's also shoe covers, a face mask, and a face shield. This will be very messy, he said. I started to dress my protective wear, and as I did, he went and retrieved something that looked like a generator attached to a clear long hose. He brought it back and placed it by the stand of the chair. After putting that down, he also got a plastic tarp and laid it, as best as he could, around the bottom of the chair. Alyssa fought. Against her shackle, she shook and thrashed. She wailed a muffled, pathetic noise. I stared at her and felt nothing. Dad walked over, administrating her something in her IV. He walked over and administrated her something in her IV. Soon we can unshackle her. She won't be able to fight much longer, he said as he discarded the syringe. Alyssa slowly looped her ability to move, and in an instant, she was paralyzed. Dad removed the shackles and the tape from her mouth. The blood poured out of her mouth from where she had bitten into her tongue and cheeks. Her eyes open and looking around. Her eyes were open and looking around. She couldn't speak, but her eyes could. I leaned down to her. Bet you're sorry now, huh? Tears streamed down her face. Dad called me over to examine the hose he had in his hand. This will be a very tricky operation we are about to do, so I'll be doing slicing, he smiled. What I would like you to do is to hold this hose. This hose will section most of the blood as we go. Not all of it, of course, but this hose will typically make everything a lot less messy. The typical surgeon section isn't very big, so soon into this business, I made this one, and it worked wonders for me, and saved so much time during cleanup. Do you understand? I shook my head. As soon as we go along, you will follow me somewhat closely and section as I go. Careful not to get too close to the skin. You'll get the hang of it. He looked at me proud. Where do we even start? The fingers? No. The hands and the feet will not be of use to us. We will start with the wrist. Think of it like the arms are a long sleeve shirt, and the pants are pants, a skin suit. Will this client wear her? I asked. Well, I assume so, but the skin will eventually dry up, so I'm not sure how much wear the client will get out of it before it becomes decoration. Honestly, it's not a matter for me. I get the money, the client decides what to do with their purchases. They are entirely up to them. I don't ask questions, only supply the request. Ready? Shook my head, yes. He grabbed an instrument from the Mayo stand and slit her wrist. The blood immediately started gushing. I grabbed the hose and tried to get as much of it as I could, but nothing could have prepared me for this much blood. He made different incisions around the wrist, and soon he was peeling back the skin. The skin peeled back almost effortlessly. I was in awe of how it slid as he pulled. I thought of a butter knife slicing through room temperature butter. Smooth. As I watched in amazement, I realized how easy it was. The skin isn't anchored down by anything, but I guess no one doesn't know that until they're watching Elias skinning. I followed him around with the hose everywhere he went, blood squirting, running, oozing at every inch of her body. When we got to the legs, I looked at her eyes. They were soaked in blood. The blue and red intertwined in an intricate swirls in design. Still, I felt nothing. Maybe I could do this. Had he awakened something inside of me that I never knew lived there? After about 45 minutes, we had successfully removed her skin. save for the feet and the hands. The last part was her face. I had done well mostly through the entire thing until I pulled her face off like a spa mask. I threw up. He placed the skin in a large ice chest and closed it. Cleanup is what I hate the most, he said, like he was talking about a kid with their toys. He slid the tarp down into one large square and tied it together. Together we put Alyssa's body in it, and then he wrapped her up tight and tied the middle with some bungee cords. Where will you put her? I asked. Here's the kicker. Just as someone ordered her skin, I had a regular inquiry about what I would be doing with the body afterwards. And I asked as I took off my apron and gloves, with blood absolutely everywhere. And she will be sold as well. Just like this. Now help me get her into the freezer. He removed the skin suit from the ice chest and placed it on a separate tarp on the floor. Quickly, he said. We picked her up, dropped her into the ice chest. He had laid another tarp on top of her and placed the skin suit on top of it. Then he closed it. So, now what do you think that you've had a taste of it? I had a million thoughts. How could this be real? Was there really a market for this? Had I just assisted in Alyssa's death? Could I really keep doing this? Do I enjoy it? Was I a bad person? How would my life turn out? I walked closer to him and looked him in the eyes. I think I'm going to like this job just fine. He smiled at me. I smiled at him. And we walked back to the black dungeon to retrieve our next order. Oh, well, I didn't see that coming. What do you think of the story? I will link it in all of the videos. I'll link this in the parts, I guess. Yeah. I'd be really curious to hear more about it, assuming like there's more. Okay. Well, I'm probably gonna keep doing more no sleep on Reddit because they're interesting and creative, if that's an appropriate word to use. But yeah, that's the end, and I hope you like it.